that goes right back to like I guess that discussion that we always talk about capitalism and whatnot, right? The capitalist ideas, you know, like, and that's the whole thing of people. I'm chasing the bag. I mean, I've kind of grown sick of that saying. I'm chasing the bag. I'm chasing the bag. Like,
yeah, you know,
it's
it's always the idea of rugged individualism.
Right.
You know,
we built about that before.
And I always have that issue, and that's why Jay-Z is such a target when I speak, because he's the most talented and biggest MC to speak about, you know, that concept, you know what I mean, and have rugged individual. It doesn't matter about anything, you know, whatever word that we have among business is not bond. It matters if I keep alive, if I get all the resources, if I get everything. It's rugged individualism, you know what I mean? And it was on wax, and it worked, you know? It worked, you know? And so I always have a problem with that, you know what I mean? I always have a problem with that.
So, okay, and I asked you this before, but I never really got a clear answer. What's the alternative to that?
I think that there is no alternative, though, if world economies become bigger and bigger. You know, I think that the only saving grace for economies is to go more and more local. You know, because I think if we talk first about the most important thing that we need is food, that has no power globally. You know, like we're just getting GMO globally, we're getting monocropping globally. You know, the destruction of seeds. All of these things that are only really built up in diversity in local environments where we have the original people, especially particularly when we really think about it, the original woman knowing and understanding the land, you know. And I think that if economies continue to become global, then no, it's not going to work. Any kind of socialist way that I'm talking about or any inferring is not going to work on that level, you know. So really though, it's really about the collapse of all this. I don't think it will work.
The collapse of a global, you mean like a global?
All of this global economy, because all of this is really going the way of transhumanism. You know, that's to me is the future direction. You know what I'm saying? Where humanity is first controlled by all of the things that they're using, the devices, the controls. They could be monetized. So like when you have a person like Kanye or something like that, they do bad. Then you can close up their accounts. You know what I'm saying? And we look at Kanye, they're doing it on a big level, taking away endorsements. But on smaller levels, if you look at China and what they do, if you get in trouble in certain ways, though, your account will be shut off. Because everything in there is digitized. You know, so like the way transhuman is just more ahead in other countries, you know, like China and stuff like that. But we're going in that direction. And that's why I think like the whole COVID, particularly the vaccines, was very huge in trying to get that. Having everybody with a vaccine card. If they're not allowed to go into certain places. You know what I mean? Think about that. An allowance. Remember, and what makes it more important is that now that, you know, now we can not just continue to cite all of the universities, continue to cite the massive amounts of scholarly works and PubMed.com, all of these things, scientists, everything, inventors of the COVID vaccine that said it was no good, like Robert Malone, all of these things. We could use the Supreme Court now, and them too. But that means that this was being done, these decrees were being forced on everyone while they had information that was false. See? And so we're getting on people like Kanye, and it's all hypocritical about Kanye or Kyrie and stuff. It's really about black folk that say something stupid. We will show you what it looks like. We will show you what it looks like to take everything from you. When in reality, we shouldn't be doing that to Kanye or Kyrie. We should be having number one on the list. Number two on the list should be Brett Favre. But number one on the list should be everybody that made us take this COVID vaccine, these mandates, all of these things.
We're not in control in that.
Right?
We don't have that level of control, though.
Yeah. We don't. We don't. We don't. And this is the direction that to me is this grand experiment. That's why I said people place so much weight on the conspiracy of the white man this, the devil this, all that kind of stuff. They're making this stuff as they go along because they're not making the technologies. It's our people making the technologies. and then they're mining.
They're supplanting it.
Right, and then they're making these things. You know, like this country doesn't really have all the great scientists. They're all export. They're all imports. You know, and a lot of them is from the East. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's where we get all the model minority concepts from. You know, you got the doctors from Asia, the scientists from India, all of these things. Peace.
If Mecca did this.